and welcome to Falmouth Community Television's Government Chats with Government Leaders. I'm Eileen Preston, and today we have a very special leader with us, very new and hitting the ground running. I'm very pleased to introduce to Falmouth our new police chief, Chief Jeffrey Lourie. Jeffrey, thanks for coming in
Thanks
today.
for having
Thanks,
me.
Chief.
I appreciate it.
Welcome to Falmouth.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if you could, before we start, just give us a little bio since you're such a new face.
Sure. So I am new to Falmouth as I am in week 4. Feels like I'm in month 4. But I originally from Central Massachusetts. I've been a police officer this September for 35 years. I started in the town of Shrewsbury. Again, similar in size to Falmouth. I then transferred under the civil service system to the Auburn Police Department. I spent over 19 years in Auburn, rose through the ranks there. I left there as a detective lieutenant. Half of my career has been spent in investigative facets of policing. I also was able to get experience that my then chief mentor, Ron Miller, in fact, I tell everyone, it's his playbook with my spin. He was a very progressive, innovative leader that allowed me to reach my full potential in Auburn. And I was on a regional SWAT team there. It was CEMLEC with a C, Central Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council. I eventually was a team leader. I was a team commander. I left Auburn in 2013, and I was hired by the town of Uxbridge. I was the first police chief selected from outside. I worked there for approximately 5 years, and then was selected by the town of Westboro as the first chief outside of there. I was tasked with very, very low staffing levels. There was some training issues. I hired a lot of people there, close to 30, made 14 promotions in 5.5 years. I also sat on Homeland Security for Central Mass. I was the second vice chair, something that I'm hoping that experience helps here, bringing in funding to the Cape for regional projects such as human trafficking, K-9, different programs. Again, president of the Central Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council. We had a drone unit, a SWAT team, a crash reconstruction team, K-9 unit, drug recognition expert team. And I'm hoping to bring some of those specialties to Falmouth and the Cape region. We are part of the Law Enforcement Council recently, and I want to make sure our offices reach their full potential. And to do that, we have to provide, programming and specialty assignments that A, will better serve Falmouth and our neighbors, and also for their career growth. Thankfully, and I feel that timing and luck have always been kind to me, but nothing beats hard work. I'm very thankful to all the communities I just mentioned for allowing me to be able to compete for this job. My promise is, just as I was in Westboro, we had a strategic plan, and they challenged me or tasked me with having a succession plan, and I created a deputy chief's position in Westboro. Todd Minardi was my deputy chief. He's now the interim chief, and hopefully he will be sliding right into that role as chief. That's exactly what I want to do here. So at fall town meeting, I'll be bringing basically before the town meeting to ask for a deputy chief's position so I can start developing my succession plan for the next internal candidate to be Falmouth's next police chief.
That's a wonderful idea, and I bet it helps the staffing too. It sort of like gives you a sense that your boss is trying to help you move up, so that's wonderful.
And that's it. So from the most junior officer to the chief of police, I want to reach my full potential, as a police officer. And my rank just happens to be chief, but my core value is we're here to help and protect people. And we've got some great staff. They've been absolutely doing triple duty. I mean, they're really. I've been extremely impressed, both internally and externally, with the warm welcome that I've received, and just with the tenacious work ethic that they have, dealing with a very busy season, being extremely short-staffed. So I just left the station just now, speaking with an officer who's potentially a lateral transfer that's going to come into the department. So we're starting to get some applications for that. And hiring is definitely the #1 priority among some other things that I'm in totally in evaluation mode right now, but there are some things that positive change is in the wind.
Okay, and just before we move into the challenges of recruitment and some other things, personally, are you living here in Falmouth? Do you need to live in Falmouth? Your family moving with you? That type of thing.
So a little bit about me. I'll overshare a little bit. So
Okay.
I've been married to my wife, Carol, for 30 years this past June. We have 2 amazing daughters, Gabriella. Recently,
Pretty.
my oldest just got engaged. She lives in New York City. My youngest, Isabella. Bella is at LSU right now in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at grad school. So
Great.
we're very proud of our kids. And living where I work is very important to me. In most of my stops, I have had residents in the departments in the towns that I worked for, and that's what I'd like to continue to do. And Falmouth is a beautiful town. So we are looking for a house. I have temporary housing. I'm in East Falmouth right now.
It's hard.
It's hard. So basically my wife, who is amazing, she's working on selling our house at the moment. So that hopefully will sell very quick. And then I'm hoping there's some more inventory this fall, this winter, and that will, as empty nesters, kind of downsize a bit out here, hopefully. Obviously, she's the boss, so she'll let me know where we're going. But yeah, the goal is Falmouth. So I could have asked the board, for a waiver, a residency waiver to live in town.
Yeah.
I honestly felt, and we can talk about this, that I needed to be on this side of the bridge, and I really needed to be connected to Falmouth. So I did find temporary housing in Falmouth, and the goal is to find permanent housing in Falmouth. I love the area that I'm staying in East Falmouth. I'm hoping something will open up there, but the entire town's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I know I'll find a place to call
anybody
home.
would be happy to have you as a neighbor, let me tell you. So your first impressions of Falmouth.
So,
What do you got?
very busy community. I am used to where I worked prior. We have a daytime huge swell every day. 70, 80,000 people come into town. A lot of commercial, a lot of hotels. But this is definitely unique. Going from 33,000 people to 70, 80, 90, 100,000 people. The Woods Hole aspect, the events, large-scale events that we have. And I do have some experience, like I said, as unit control chief for Semlex SWAT out in Central Mass. Hoppington's a starting point, so obviously being involved with the Boston Marathon after the bombing and different things. So it's a very busy community, robust community. I can tell you that we faced some adversity during the 4th of July week. A lot of chiefs said, well, you're crazy, why don't you start August 30th, but we're so short-staffed, and I felt if I'm gonna see it next year, I might as well see it this year. And quite frankly, Westboro was very good to me, and by leaving before July 1st, there were certain things that clicked into my contract that they would have had to monetarily given me. And I figured I would, leave that there if they let me exit a little early, because I had a long notice in my contract. And Westboro was very good to me.
So you sacrificed a little bit to come here early for July 1st, before the July 4th
So
weekend.
yeah, there was some monetary benefits that I could have had, but I really felt my deputy chief was ready for the challenge to be chief. He's going to bring Westboro to another level, and I really felt, hey, at least I can get involved and I can help out during a very busy season, and I wanted to see it. I'm the type of person that needs to. You can explain it to me, but I learned much better looking at it and being a part of it. So I was excited to start. Obviously, when I was given a conditional offer, I was in contact with staff out here and different people trying to, I really wanted to hit the ground running, which I think I did. But my first impressions were very hardworking staff. They were very open. I think deer in the headlights, someone coming in from outside, I'm sure there's some angst, but they were very welcoming. I believe they like what they're hearing. The other side benefit is, especially July 3rd, I don't think we even expected to deal with some of the negativity that we dealt with some of our younger folks down in the beach areas.
Crowd control.
Across town, yes. And, shipwreck, the restaurant closing early, so there'd be less foot traffic for us. Neighbors coming out in the heights to clean up all that trash and debris, helping DPW. It just gave me such a sense of community, both internally within the organization and externally, with the townspeople. And I've been to a lot of different events, whether it be the Commodore's Centennial or speaking to a neighborhood group up in East Falmouth. I really have found that there's a lot of compassionate, caring, empathetic people here, and they have concerns, whether it be about some of the violent crime that's happened or some of the drug use and mental health illness. And I'm finding a community that does want to work together, to band together to solve some of these social issues. And you'll see with me, it's all about providing a public safety service that's second to none. And to do that, it takes a village. It really do. For it to all work, teamwork is
Everybody has to
mission
pitch in.
critical.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work. So I'm very pleased to be here. It's been long weeks. You're going to see that your police department's working extremely hard. I want people to feel that I'm approachable, that I will take suggestion, and that will help me set direction. So really happy with the support that I've received. The town manager and I are both brand new. And we're going to work with each other well. I can tell you that we're developing a very good relationship. And that's everyone from the clerk's office to human resources. It's the fire department, DPW. I was at a select board meeting last night, and I'll talk about some of the initiatives that I'm hoping to implement over the coming months and years. But just addressing the crowd in the select board with Peter, our DPW director, and I can just tell you, I just feel connected. Like we're going to be a great team. It's not about Jeff, Lourie, it's about teamwork. It's about us supporting each other. No egos, just coming together to provide Falmouth and our neighbors the very best in services that we can potentially offer.
That's wonderful. So, and that has been my experience too of the town. So, recruitment, that seems to be, if not the biggest challenge, one of your,
Yes.
I want to hear your ideas about recruitment for your staff that is working so hard.
So, and you're right. So we've received a couple of lateral transfer applications. We have an officer that put himself through the academy that's working for us kind of as like in the past as like a seasonal officer, so he'll be hired full-time. We have someone in the academy. I have the Captain Reed right now, Captain Lowen. We'll be developing a flyer that we'll be sending out to area groups in town. This right here, just letting people know we're hiring. And one of it was the Cape Verdean Independence Day on July 5th, and I went and I spoke there and just basically just saying, hey, we're hiring, we're recruiting. We really would like to have individuals within our ranks and in our department that are the makeup of Falmouth and our region. So we're going to be taking the show on the road. There's a lot of self-sponsors out in Central Mass at the Quinsigaming Community College. They have a evening academy. It's kind of unique out there where they're all self-sponsors. We'll go to Fitchburg State College, Cape Cod Community College. Just take the show on the road and really do a really full recruitment. Obviously, we're so short-staffed right now. Lateral transfers would be a preference.
Yes.
I do have a reputation as someone who does poach. We're offering a lot of great specialty assignments, some really cool things that will be coming down the pike when we get out of the summer. Training is huge. When people say we can't reward our employees because they're government employees, they're wrong. We reward our employees by providing specialty assignments, training opportunities, equipment upgrades, could be overtime opportunities, things they like to do.
Yeah.
And it could be whether it's a crime scene, officer, community engagement team, social media team. We're going to be really bringing in some really cool specialties that is going to provide an enhanced level of service for you folks. And I think it's all about not just community engagement, but also engaging staff both internally and externally. I think that there's going to be officers in this area or throughout the state that are going to really see about this, hear about this, even through word of mouth, and they're going to want to be a part of a winning team, and that's Falmouth PD. And it's going to take a while. We are very short-staffed, but I promise. I've hired police officers from Washington, D.C., from Colorado, Lakewood, Colorado. We are going to hire extremely hard to hopefully manage a little bit easier.
Okay.
I've rescinded several conditional officers that
That's
people
what I
that
wanted
are
to
police.
ask you about was hire hard. You have that expression.
Yeah,
Tell
hire
us
hard
what
to
that
manage
is.
a little easier. So I firmly believe that we, and it's not about me, we can train you to be a very good police officer. I believe we can provide the tools, the training, the equipment for you to be a very competent police officer. So we hire good people to get that done. If you're not a good person, I can't train you to be a good person. So we hire good people, and I've had to rescind conditional officers for a number of different reasons because I want to make sure that our staff have the very best backing them up and working with them. That's why we have patrol officers that are part of the background investigation unit, because these folks are going to be working for them, so I have them do the backgrounds. Why our field training officer program is going to be extremely robust, making sure that the people that we hire are going to continue to still be here, that our training program is going to find out if this person isn't the right fit for Falmouth. So these things are extremely, extremely important, and it's all about hiring. It starts with hiring and then promoting the right people, you know, that are our future leaders, you know, for tomorrow. And that's my goal. It's to set the stage, you know, not just for the time that I'm here, but it's to set the stage for the next 50 or 60 years. And that's why I say to you, I had a very, very unbelievable chief throughout my career. I've had some really good chiefs that I work for, and a couple of them in particular that really showed that it's a democracy till they said otherwise. And it's kind of something that I coined, meaning I want to get input and ideas from all members of my staff, you know, obviously through the chain of command when feasible, personal problems, my door's always open, so we can reach our full potential. And it all starts with hiring what I believe is very, very good, hardworking individuals who are not taking this job because they need health insurance and they want to work pay jobs. You know, they want to take this job because to their core, you know, it's they want to be that person that people call in times of crisis. And that's, you know, where I think I've been very fortunate that I've had leaders that have really guided me to help me be here today in Falmouth. I didn't do this alone, and that's what I want to impart to my staff.
And just as you came on July 1st, we lost civil service. We were talking earlier,
Yes.
you told me. So how do you feel about that? Is that going to make it easier for you?
So, and this is just my opinion, I think civil service is an antiquated, broken system. When I was the chief in Uxbridge, I was able to have the department removed from civil service. It was, the legislature confirmed it.
Yes.
Where Falmouth had an issue with that, where now the legislature is dragging their feet, so I was actually out here competing for the job when town meeting approved it to go to a ballot question to just to rescind the original vote. So there was a little bit of a hiccup how Falmouth came out, but we are out right now, and it's going to make my job a little bit easier in the selection process. It's going to open up. Now we had an officer that was trying to transfer here a year or two ago, where under civil service, the appointing authority has to release this person, and they didn't. Mm-hmm. So now that person, if was still interested, now we can hire them.
Poach away.
We can poach away, and that's the thing. It's really I think I'm a product of civil service. That's how I was hired. I transferred, you know, to Auburn as a civil service employee. Good police officers come out of the civil service system. There's no two ways about it, but you know, back when it was implemented, you didn't have an ethics commission, you didn't have unions, you didn't have certain protections that you have today, labor relations. And I just think it really does just muddy the waters, especially when it comes to hiring and it comes to promoting. I think, you know, it limits you on who you can look at, and I think, you know, that a lot should be in play, you know, besides, hey, I have an open position, so I get 3 names, you know, plus 1. I want to pick from 100 names, you know, so, and I want to hire the best person.
Sure.
You know, for the job, not just, okay, you have to, you know, limited in a selection process. So I'm looking forward to hiring. I'm excited, you know, and I'm excited for the staff. Like, they have no idea what's in store for them in the coming months and years, and that excites me.
Okay, so ride-alongs, have you been on those? Are you going to do those? Talk
So
about those.
I wish I could tell
A
you.
lot of people haven't done a ride-along, so.
So it's one of those, so I will ride with every member of the staff. The issue is, and I was just at roll call this morning, I like to see all 3 shifts every day. I think they'll tell you I come in early, I exercise early in the morning, and then I come into work. I like to see all 3 shifts. And I have done a ride along with midnight shift. The problem is with days and 4 to 12s, I don't think I would get much accomplished right now because the call volume's so high. And I want them to speak freely, and you know, their confidential meetings to basically tell me, hey, not just what they don't like, what do you like? Because I don't want to change things for the sake of change that are going well
it's
here.
Working for them.
No one is going to embrace change more than me. I am an outsider coming down from the Cape, from Central Mass. But I will tell you, people are people. The same issues when I went to the TAC meeting, the Traffic Advisory Committee meeting, and the residents are talking about, traffic issues in town. It's Groundhog Day. It's the same things that I've dealt with throughout my career. Well, that's the same thing with the ride-alongs and the things that I'm hearing with the department. It's a good department, right? The goal is to take a good department and just make it a little better. And I think each step along the way, I think that's what I've done. I've left it a little better with my own little personal spin that I hope will carry on, whether it be Shrewsbury, Auburn, Uxbridge, or Westboro, and now Falmouth. And I want everyone to know I'm all about Falmouth. This is my home. This police department is my family. I will hold people accountable, and I will commend people. It's one of those jobs that it's extremely satisfying. The most fun, I will tell you, that I had was, when I was in patrol doing, police work in uniform, or as a detective, or, as a SWAT operator. But the most rewarding time in my career has been as a chief, and I've been a chief now coming on 10 years, and it really is having the ability to kind of develop your staff and to set the tone and to develop a culture of positivity and just career growth is very rewarding. One of the select board members in Westboro, there were two actually that said something that resonated with me. One was, Chief, you told us you were going to be the first chief and last chief from outside the department, and you made good on your word. And the second was, and I was really proud of this, and I really reflected on it. And he said, Chief, I run into our officers on the road all the time, and you really hired some amazing people, and very empathetic and kind, and when they need to be tough, they're tough, and when they need to help, they help. You've developed a really strong culture, positive culture there. And I said, wow, that's a really good compliment. And that's what we're going to do here. And I'm going to do that with the entire staff. I'm going to do that. When I talk about staff too, I've got some amazing assistants. I mean, my administrative assistant is
Preston,
she's unbelievable, and our ladies that are in records, and my lieutenants and my sergeants and my patrol staff. I've got an officer who's doing a lot of work with our fleet maintenance, and he coordinated a big toucher truck event with Tommy's house. So these are things that I embrace, that Falmouth has embraced, and we're just going to take it and just enhance it to another level, under our time together here. And when I'm retired and putting my feet up on the beach, hopefully knowing that I left Falmouth a little better. But I've got quite a bit of
retire in Falmouth, that would be good too.
I got a lot of fuel left in the tank. I'm excited to come to work, and that's kind of been my MO as a chief is to come in and just enhance things.
So the other day you were at the select board and you were talking about the traffic challenges.
Yes.
And you had some ideas about that. So can you talk a little bit about what your plan is there?
Yeah, and we had a great program. It was called STEPS, Strategic Traffic Enforcement Program. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a link on our webpage that you can go on. And basically you click on this link, you ask for a traffic study, you ask for traffic enforcement, and an officer is going to get back to you. Can we use your driveway? Can we... do you want a traffic study? I have a meeting Thursday with my captains where we're basically looking at technology that it's, those radar trailers that you see us bring around town that shows you your speed. Well, these are smaller units.
I never need that.
They affix to a pole, and they're cloud-based. Right from our laptops or our phones, we can collect data that shows us when the cars are speeding. Gives us basically traffic patterns and a traffic study that we're able to hand to that resident to show, well, maybe we need to get the DPW involved. Maybe it's just overgrowth in the street, and cars look like they're going faster because the road's narrower. Mm-hmm. So there's a host of things we're going to do, and then the officer, like I said, will get back to them and say, here's what we found. So you'll see us, and I don't want to say aggressively, but see us dealing with those complaints that are coming in that the citizenry is concerned about, and I would like to see in time basically 2 officers designated, that's their specialty assignment, that they are doing traffic enforcement in the different parts of town.
Interesting. Other challenges that you see? Recruitment and traffic?
The station's a big one. That's something I would like Falmouth TV to assist me with. I'd like to do a tour of the building so I can show some of the concerns I have for the building. One is it's way too small, and there's some physical issues there that we need to address. So I don't want to spend a ton of money on that structure, but there is some money because what I would like to do is at fall town meeting, take some of that 1.6 million they put to rehab the building. I'd like to do a feasibility study. I'd like to see if we need to build a new station off-site, if that building can be added onto, or something. But I am going to spend a little bit of money to clean some things up. There's some damage that I'd like to see cleaned up as well. So that is another huge challenge to the station. The other is, and our communications director, Chris Campbell, is going to have a proposal he's going to be bringing forward to town meeting as well. And I hate to say this, but our radios don't work in different parts of town, and that's an officer safety issue.
I did not know that.
And
Okay.
that's an officer safety issue. So that needs to be addressed, especially Woods Hole area and some other outlying areas of town. And when weather conditions, it could be foggy day, misty day,
Hurricane.
whatever, they don't work. And I'm of the philosophy, do we have to have a tragedy to affect change? So this is mission critical to us getting to you when you need assistance, us calling for additional assistance, and there's a video out there from early 2000s where an officer's fighting with someone down at Woods Hole and is trying to get help, and no one can hear the officer. So that is something that is on the high end of my priority list. And there are others. I want to make sure our officers, have the very best equipment and training possible. I am seeing that, our fleet's in great shape. As far as we definitely need to add a couple of cruisers, but the equipment in them is very good. And they take good care of the cars. So I think I'm in total evaluation mode right now. It's just been just over 3 weeks.
Of course.
And like I said, very pleased with a lot that I'm seeing. But obviously, as the days, and weeks progress, I'm finding more and more that where I think we can be a little bit better, where I can be a little bit better. So it's one of those. It's exciting for me as a manager and as a leader to be basically coming into a department and just seeing like there's just raw potential in my staff and what we're going to accomplish together as a community. I know where the promised land is, and we're going to all get there together.
I love it. So you have some social media ideas, I think I read too. So
Yes.
Can you talk about those for us?
So I think, and when we talk about, you're going to see as we move towards accreditation, and that's another thing real briefly I'm very proud of. Westboro is the first department in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, 351 cities and towns, that was certified and fully accredited under the 6th edition. That's the Massachusetts Police Accreditation Commission. We're number one. So I took policies from 1986, and now we have state-of-the-art policies from 2023. That came with me right here to Falmouth. So we're not reinventing the wheel. These are post-certified Police Officers Standards and Training Commission. These are post-certified policies and procedures through MPAC. Social media, our webpage, our policies are going to be on that page for people to see transparency. Social media to show transparency. I'm just put out for our community engagement team, letters of interest, and for our social media team. People are going to see, especially when the summer's over in the coming weeks, very, very robust social media. Why? I want to show the serious side of things. I want to show the lighter side of things. I want to connect with the community. I want them to get to know their officers in the department, and we can do that. So before I was on the payroll, the patrol union invited me out to a Touch-A-Truck event that they had at Tommy's house. And the first thing that I thought of was, wow, next year when I get here, we're going to be FaceTiming live this event. Maybe we can get 5, 10 more families, to show up to support, that cause, which is near and dear to me. Kids vacationing with cancer. It's cancer has touched us all. To me personally. Another one of the hats that I wear jumping around is I'm co-captain of the Jimmy Fund Mass Police Chiefs Jimmy Fund Walk. So these are things I want to partner with Falmouth, and I want to get that word and that message out, and that's through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever we can utilize to get out the positive message, knowing that you have to respect it, that sometimes the post can go a little left of center with people.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think the community will really like it, and they're going to see a police department that wants to not scare them, but we want to educate them. When I spoke at the East Falmouth group, I ran into someone that was there at the Commodore's event who said, Chief, you know, I felt kind of scared, but never felt more safe, you know, and that's what it's about, right? It's about saying, hey, these are the issues that are really affecting you, that some of the violent crime that you're seeing, they're not random acts of violence. Those individuals were targeted. You know, these are the things, you know, it's my job as chief is, you know, to make sure when we had that 25, 30 car breaks in one night, you know, don't create a crime of opportunity. Don't leave your wallet in the car. Don't leave the car unlocked. You know, it's just that educational piece where social media can be of help. And also, when we have that, now we put that information out there and someone says, you know what, I'm going to take a look at my Ring doorbell and I'm going to see, maybe I have some camera footage of the suspect, you know, in the area because that was my neighborhood. It's basically building those relationships in every way possible, whether it's face-to-face like you and I are right now, or it's getting it out to the folks that are home watching us, or just social media. And it's something that I've embraced throughout my career as a chief, and I look forward to really making so it's not just 1, 2, or 3 of us that have access to making these posts, that it's a team of us. It's 10 people.
Yeah.
You know, the more eyes on it, the better. You know, because of the radio problem in town, one of the things that I did was I actually got a smartphone for every cruiser. So it's a secondary communication device. But it's also a device, they were using their own personal cell phones at times to take pictures for certain things. Well, that's discoverable in court. I don't want them doing that. So now they have a device that they can use to take pictures, to record, to do whatever. But also, even if they're not on the social media team, that pole goes down and the road's closed, take a quick snapshot of it, send it to a member of the social media team to say, hey, avoid Minot Drive, there's a pole down in the area, so-and-so. So basically, it's really just making us communicate more effectively and better, working together as a team. Whether you're on this particular team or not, you're contributing to it. And I think, honestly, I think the community is going to really love it. And I think our officers, the men and women who really are doing the work, right? They're the tires that meet the road. It gives them some tools and an outlet to not only better serve, but it's fun.
It's fun, yeah. And the free flow of information makes us all safer. If people feel plugged in and they understand, I don't have to be afraid of this, but you know, I should concentrate on this, they feel a little bit more empowered about how they can help themselves and the community. You know, they feel a little safer if they know, well, this I can do, rather than panic, right?
Amen.
Panic will kill us all, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, I want our staff, to feel that when it's appropriate, like when a lawful order is given, you follow it. You know, we're a paramilitary organization. But that their opinions matter, that their sergeants are watching and saying, hey, you know what, round peg, round hole. You know, I think this person would fit well on this specialty assignment, and to help mold them, and that their ideas that they're bringing back, they make it up the chain of command so we can enact change, right? Positive change.
Yeah.
And I think developing that type of culture that we all matter. We're all important. We're in a society now where there's been a lot of negativity at times, you know, thrust towards law enforcement. But we're doing things really well overall in Massachusetts, and I think we need to get that message out. You know, why some of these terrible incidents that have happened across the country, why aren't they happening here? You know, I had an officer today, I have a civil rights officer, and a sergeant, and he picked another team member. My supervisors, my team leaders, they pick their own team. And they do that because I hold the supervisors accountable, they hold their team accountable, right? You don't make a decision based on favoritism, you make it on business. So I gave him a suggestion. I said, I'd like you to research the ABLE program. It's the Active Bystander and Law Enforcement program out of Georgetown University. And basically it's duty to intervene and health and wellness for officers. I think it's an amazing program. We implemented it out in Central Mass at the Westboro Police Department. It costs this much money. It's basically train the trainer, so they'll go to training via Zoom and then bring this training back. I come into work this morning, this sergeant's not even on duty, Ryan Hurt, not even on duty, and he's emailing social service agencies and the town manager because he needs letters of support to get going on this program. how proud am I of him right now?
So what do they teach in that program?
So they're going to teach basically health and wellness issues and duty to intervene. So when the things that happened out in Minnesota with George Floyd, they don't happen here.
Oh, so somebody would say, this is wrong, we can't do this.
So we're just basically, and I don't just want to have this training for the Falmouth Police Department. I want to offer it to Mashpee. I want to offer it to Bourne. I want to offer it to Sandwich. You know, I want to basically develop programs, not just Falmouth, but the Cape, our region, you know, and it's a big world out there, and we want to share tools for your toolbox, just like they have certain specialty assignments and officers and training in different areas that, hey, come help, you help me, I'll help you, you know. So I'm very proud that I can sit here today and say, hey, I had this idea, you know, this program, and the sergeant didn't just, okay, Chief, he's now put it into action. He put a plan into action, and that's what I'm seeing I'm surrounded by here, that I'm looking at a bunch of just human sponges that are just soaking up, you know, what's being offered. And I think it speaks volumes to the Falmouth Police Department that, you know, I'm taking over. They've hired well, and there's a lot of good people. They promoted well. And my job is just to take what Chief Dunn did and just try to make it a little better, right? And I think if he was sitting with us today, that's his hope, you know, and that's my hope. My hope for Westboro is they were so good to me. I've left them in such good hands. The transition will be seamless. I can't thank them enough for the opportunity. My town manager there was amazing, you know, Christy Williams, and I'm hoping to develop the same relationship with Mike Renshaw here. And I'm seeing very positive conversations with him, you know, and I look forward to, I have lunch Thursday with the president of the Chamber of Commerce, you know, developing that.
We know him well here.
With relationship with our business community, some of the amazing programs I can't wait to be a part of with the Chamber. And like I said, it takes a village. I'm proud to say that I'm a member of Team Falmouth, and I'm going to do my part in any way that I can. And I look forward to not only the challenges ahead, but the success that I know is awaiting us.
Wonderful. I'm very excited myself.
Yeah.
So you said you were a police officer, I think it was 30?
It'll be 35 years in September.
Of all, I'm sure you worked with a lot of chiefs and a lot of leaders. Is there one quality of one leader that you had that you thought, that guy or that woman has taught me something I want to do? Is there a quality?
So, you know, I go back to, I was in front of the Board of Selectmen many, many years ago, 1994, with Chief Ronald Miller. And I remember him saying, and I remember the select board member, his name was Craig Blaze, and he said, you know, Chief Miller tells us you're going to be a police chief someday. Now, here I am, you know, young guy in my 20s at the time, saying, I just want to learn geographically the streets, but I appreciate his confidence. He was an individual that he had a vision. He started SEMLEC with a C. After NEMLEC, we were the next LEC, Law Enforcement Council, in Central Mass. And he was very innovative. And he really did encourage you to reach your full potential. These specialty assignments that I talk about for officers, it's what he provided us. It allowed me, you know, to have all these opportunities as a police officer to really kind of branch out. And I can't thank him enough. And then the chiefs that I work for in every community, you know, they all had so much that they gave me, you know, as a police officer. And quite frankly, in some cases, some of the best, you know, when I met Chief Creighton, who was the Uxbridge chief, I came down the Cape. He lives out here. I'm planning on visiting him. And when Ron Miller came to visit me in my office in Uxbridge, and I'll never forget what they said to me. These folks from Uxbridge will tell you what I did right, Jack said, and Ron said, you know what I did right. Let's talk about what I did wrong. Let's talk about not, you know, replicating the mistakes that I made. And that's the sign to me of a true leader that's saying, hey, I'm not perfect. If Falmouth is looking for the perfect police chief, it's not me. I'm a human being, I make mistakes. At the end of the day, those type of leaders really make a difference in the communities they serve, a positive difference. And what I'm trying to do, what Ron Miller did is, and many of the chiefs that I worked for, is I'm going to try to do my best today to make a positive impact on potential tomorrow. And my best day is not today. My best day is hopefully tomorrow, but it's not. It's every day trying to just be better. And that's what he instilled in me, and that, you know, the lessons learned, you know, the command presence that he had, I won't forget. Those are lessons that I carry with me. And the ability to listen. The ability to, it's not just always because I said so. There's a why, and how can we get there together? He was a commander. There's no two ways about it, and I'll make those difficult decisions when need be as a commander. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, feeling a part of that organization, and he was a poacher. I learned it from him. You know, there were other chiefs in Mass who weren't too happy with me at times. And I remember our director, Mark Leahy, saying, well, you know, you're a product of Auburn, and that's what you're used to, lateral transfers. And that's it. At the end of the day, I want our staff to know they have a chief that is going to support them. They have a chief that's going to hold them accountable, and they have a chief that's going to work extremely hard. And I tell people that, like I said, luck, timing are great. Nothing beats hard work, and I'm going to work hard.
Brilliant. So you have any last thoughts you want to say to Falmouth?
I just want to thank you. I look forward to developing, you know, positive relationships. You know, hey, can't always make everyone happy. Sometimes there's things that we have to do as police officers that aren't very popular, but I promise you, we're going to do our very best to meet the needs of the community to the best of our ability, as in a transparent way, and that I'm here and I'm open to suggestion. I really am, and the goal is for us to be better. And that's my commitment and my message to Falmouth. I look forward to being a part of this team for years to come.
Well, Chief Lourie, thank you very much. And we hope we see you a lot here. And let's do that tour and let's take a look at your equipment and your facility. And I think I speak for everybody in Falmouth when I say we wish you massive success in your mission to protect and serve us. So
thank you very much. I look forward to partnering with you. And we've talked about, I'll be having a monthly little show at the Senior Center. I really want to make sure that I'm connected with not just our youth, but our seniors in town. So I look forward to partnering with Falmouth TV.
Terrific. Thank you. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.